Chairshot Reality on WrestleZone.com. It is episode 298. If you're not aware, we have CSRWrestling.com. We have our blogs every single day from our bloggers. We also have an audio podcast they host. Blake and Shane host. It's called BS with CSR. We're going to take a quick time out right now. I'll let you hear a clip. It is our BS with CSR audio where they're giving a quick thought on Tyler Breeze and how he's being used.
Somebody that is having a big feel and feels important. And honestly, to me, right now, feels more important than Alberto Del Rio is Prince Pretty Tyler Breeze. I love what they're doing with Tyler Breeze so far. I think it's perfect. I think the way they're using him, we haven't seen him wrestle. We haven't seen him do much. It's perfect. It makes the guy feel big. It makes the guy feel important.
It does. I'm glad they brought him in and not did the usual, okay, you bring him in, he has a match, he faces jobbers, he beats like 10 jobbers in a row every week, and they try to build him up that way. To me, that's just passe. It's old. Nobody wants to see that anymore. Again, I like that he hasn't had a match. I mean, he's a good character. I mean, I even thought that NXT, I didn't know if he could get over the main roster, but he's a really, really good character. He could play a really, not a main event role, but he could be really good mid-carder, which is what they've been lacking.
So there you're here, and I tend to agree with him. I think it is nice how important Tyler Breeze is feeling right now, not even having had a match. I think it's a very
but he needs to have a match soon.
But I think it's unique, and as Shane even said in that audio, it's great that it's not doing the same old beat 30 jobbers and lead up to a pay-per-view. Yep. That said, forget Tyler Breeze. He's not in the main event at Survivor Series, or at least the co-main event. We're talking the Wyatt family. Obviously, it's not been official. We all speculate that Survivor Series would be Team Wyatt versus a Team Undertaker. Guys, is this the best momentum the Wyatt family's had? I thought this past week, I liked the promo. I will see what you guys think. I think they have great momentum. I'm glad that we did not see or hear a peep from Taker and Kane. Mm-hmm. Let that week go through. Let this whole week go by, and let the questions continue. Where are they at? When are they coming back? Is it going to be a 4-person team? Is it just the Brothers of Destruction?
I think it was a beautiful promo. Mm-hmm. That was my best part about Raw. And I didn't watch much of it. I watched the rest the next morning. But what I saw, I tuned it out. I said, you can't get much better than this. And they kicked that off right at the 9 o'clock hour. But yes, I think this is the best for the Wyatt family right now. You have essentially, not a 4 horsemen of Wyatt family, but you have 4 Wyatt family members. Each of them has a different identity. Each of them serves a different role. You have the muscle, you have the skill and wisdom, you have the leader, and then you have Rowan, whatever his,
he's that extra.
He's that guy over there behind Labar's left shoulder. But at the end of the day, listen, you can't go wrong by putting somebody with The Undertaker. You already did it once with Bray Wyatt. You might as well give the whole family a rub on him, Kane, and whoever else might come in.
And I said this storyline is probably just as good, if not better, as Bray Wyatt's storyline with The Undertaker heading into WrestleMania.
I think it's better, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it is better because what you have now is you have WWE really putting the emphasis on Bray Wyatt and the family. Whenever it was Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker heading into WrestleMania, I felt like it was more solid to, it's going to be Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. The Wyatt family played a really just very, very minimal supporting role. Now, you have these guys like Braun Strowman who we've only cut to the very, very minimal core of what he really is. And you have a guy like Eric Rowan, like you said, we're not sure what his role is, but he fits. And then you have Luke Harper, and Luke Harper's probably the best technical wrestler that they have. So you have all these pieces together right now, and when Bray Wyatt speaks, you don't need these other guys behind him to speak. Their presence there makes them more important because you know that they're going to compete at Survivor Series.
Well, it was sorry.
No, I was just going to say that this hand over fist is way better than the build to the Wyatt versus Undertaker WrestleMania match. The build of that WrestleMania match was based on 2 things for me. It was based on the intrigue of seeing the Undertaker for the first time since being beat by Brock Lesnar in the streak ending, and then of course the special effects. In Pittsburgh they had the rocking chair that exploded into flames, little things like that. Now, granted, we're doing some special effects with the Wyatt family superpowers, and I'm sure we got some Taker and Kane super effects coming soon. But the core of this great build is the story. Is the having took out Taker, having kidnapped him, having kidnapped The Undertaker, having the Wyatt family be 4-person strong as I've ever been. And the look at it, you got these 3 towering monsters, and then the wisdom of Bray Wyatt. So this already just, no matter what happens in the match, no matter who wins, Team Taker or Bray Wyatt, any which way, this is so much more compelling and better storytelling, and everybody's going to get much more rub and much more out of this than that WrestleMania match.
Well, with Bray Wyatt, the reason I mentioned a Four Horsemen-esque type deal, Bray Wyatt is playing the role of Ric Flair. And then you have Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham, whoever you want. That's the guy. Those are the guys behind him. Never prominent on the microphone.
Yeah.
But damn if they didn't have that presence. And right now, the Wyatt family has that presence. And is it because Braun Strowman came in and he's the fourth guy? Maybe or maybe not. Could it have been done with the three original Wyatt families? Probably. Only if they continued along this storyline with Undertaker Kane.
And I just think, no matter who they put with the Undertaker and Kane, we all talked about that last week on the show. Who should be the guy? Should it be a guy that's already established? Should it be an NXT guy? Who fills those voids? I just worry that whoever they put there is either going to benefit too much where it makes the Wyatt family look not as important, or it's just going to completely squash. If you bring a guy like Finn Balor and he gets eliminated first or second, then okay, the Wyatt family looks great, but what does that do for a guy like Balor debuting on the main roster? They have to be very careful with who they put against the Wyatt family if the Wyatt family is the singular most important thing in this match.
Well, and that's why I continue to think that I think if he's healthy enough to go, that putting Sting on that Team Taker, assuming the Team Taker,
because nothing hurts him. Yeah,
nothing hurts Sting.
Yeah.
Again,
He has 10
he's
losses.
in Atlanta, old WCW stomping grounds. You'll get that moment of finally seeing him stand side by side with the Undertaker. Sting's a guy who he's always going to mean something, even if his WWE record isn't great. But the fact is that if Braun Strowman, eliminates Sting, that's a huge moment for Braun Strowman. And again, it's not going to hurt
And
Sting
Sting's
at all.
odds of being on that team, along with some other potential, surprise returns, have gone up because of Seth Rollins' injury. Because you have guys in this tournament now who you're completely taking out of consideration.
Yeah.
So Sting just went from 30% probably to 60% about being on this team.
Our final bit here. We got two Raws left until Survivor Series. What do we see of these next 2 weeks? I would have to think that this week we at least get the teasing, a gong, some fire going off.
Yeah,
We at least start to say, okay, Taker and Kane have escaped whatever purgatory they were being held in.
I don't think you see Taker. I think you see Kane speaking for Taker either this week or next week, saying that you thought you. What I would really do, and I've been barking for this for months, even a year, really going back to Wyatt and Undertaker, do a backstage promo that's different than just the smoke with the Wyatt family. Do something where maybe Kane's trapped in a boiler room or trapped somewhere where he can't get out or breaks through. We don't know where the hell he's at. Tell us where he's at.
Well, what if you now see? I got two things to say real quick. 25 years of the Undertaker at Survivor Series. Bring somebody back from the Undertaker's past. We're talking Noel Foley and Frank the Clown. Is there any chance on God's green earth that Mick Foley were to come back and
Speaking of
be
boiler
with
rooms.
the Undertaker?
Not on the team. Foley can't bump. Over and over I say this, but Foley could come and do a promo face to face with Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt and say, "Look,
I've been in your shoes."
You remind a lot of me with your side, but let me just remind you, I've gone to hell and back with this man. You don't know what you're getting into."
But as
great.
how this builds up, can you just have a shadow walking, Kane and Undertaker walking, all of a sudden the third guy comes in out of the side of the camera and they're walking away and all you see is a silhouette. You don't see anything. And then 2 weeks from now, that
Creativity.
fourth person comes out, you see the trench coat and you know who it's going to be.
A lot of ideas. A lot of WWE production can do anything. It's just a matter of if they will do any of these ideas. Probably not, but it's fun to throw out the theories for. It's been a crazy weekend here. Again, if you have not seen it, we encourage you to go back. We started off this weekend with the breaking news of Seth Rollins and who should be the next WWE World Champion. Check that out. Again, you can go to csrwrestling.com. You can go to youtube.com/csrwrestling, or you can, of course, go to the Chairshot Reality tab on WrestleZone. We are everywhere. There's no way you're not going to find us, and we encourage you to stick around. Pass it on to a friend. Episode 300 coming up in 2 weeks. Noel Foley, Frank the Clown, many other surprises. TagMeADate.com presented it all. The first ever dating website for wrestling fans. For Josh, for Brian, I am Justin. We will see you next week for episode 299.